Hey internet friend, MagicBrad here. How are you today? And big announcement, big announcement. My interest in Andrew Yang is not political, just so you know, because I just saw some comments on one of my posts about Andrew Yang and his universal based income freedom dividend concept. And that's what I've been talking about a little bit here on the internet. But someone had mentioned that they asked me, where are you from? Did you vote for Donald Trump? Are you a registered voter? And my interest in this is not political. I don't care if it's Andrew Yang or if it's Colonel Sanders. My interest in it is more the United States economy and the people of the United States, including myself. So it's just so that people don't get it confused that I'm not rooting for Andrew Yang for president. It would be nice because then he'd implement some of this stuff. But as a lot of people probably realize, there's a lot of corruption. That's how these things, these socialist groups end up getting screwed up because of the corruption that's happening in it, where people are big corporations basically paying off politicians to embrace, like, here's an example. It's just not an example. It's not a real life example, but say for example, I had a company and what I did was I manufactured those little buckles for seatbelts. This is before the seatbelt law, but I manufactured these little buckles for seatbelts. So it would be smart for me as a businessman to go into a place and lobby and pay people off and buy them dinner and schmooze them and be their best friend if they put into action the seatbelt law. Ta-da! Now I'm going to sell a shit ton of seatbelts. I shouldn't talk like that. Shame on me. That was bad. That was even worse. So it would make sense for me to try and get that seatbelt law enacted, because then I would sell a lot of seatbelt buckles. But that's what happens with this stuff, that the corruption that happens in the government. Andrew Yang's policy, it's a universal based income, so it goes to every United States documented legal law-abiding citizen over the age of 18. So I think it's not biased. It doesn't matter what color you are, or if you live in the slums or you live in a high-rise, you get the same $1,000 a month. That makes sense to me. It's fair. And then it's tied to the economy. So Andrew Yang's been talking about tech companies, and like in Alaska, the one that's connected with petroleum, that's kind of similar to Venezuela because they had all that oil. When it's tied in with that, when the government gets distributing stuff because it's tied into like a single product or something, that can end up being a problem. So my thinking on the universal based income and the VAT tax, value added tax, it should be applicable to all income that comes into a company. So I don't think that the people that consume the product should be taxed. I think the company that receives the compensation for their product should be taxed. And it should be a specific percentage, we'll say 1%, of every sale that goes through Amazon, Starbucks, Maggie's, Betsy's Pies, Martha's Cookies at the State Fair. They make millions going through there. So just a percentage of all the cash flow that goes through all companies in the United States that are U.S. companies, that gets into this little pool. So I think that's how it could happen, and then it's not tied in with anybody's thing. I thought of a situation that might be a problem that's going to have to be addressed, and that's if you're in jail or prison, you don't get the $1,000. So I understand that's the way. If you broke the law, why should you be getting part of the deal? So how are they going to do that for people that are on like work release? Because they're not really in prison. They're only in prison overnight, and then they get released to go to work. So that's going to be an issue that's going to come up. But anyways, it's not about politics with me and Andrew Yang. It's the concept of the universal based income and all this automation that is gulping up our economy. And I've always said it, Captain Kirk never wore a wallet. He's got them tight pants, you know. He never had a wallet. So in the future, we're not going to be needing money. It's going to kind of just transpire, and it's just going to be based on your value to the community. So that's kind of why I'm thinking. Okay, that's it. Peace, love, and happiness. This is MagicBrad signing off. If you like my if you like my videos, please subscribe and hit the little bell so you get notifications, and share it. Use the share button and share it with other people. Okay? Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, please. Please don't. Okay, that's it. Bye.